Welcome to the Profit Talks podcast, hosted by the Orange County Inland Empire SBDC Network, funded in part by the U.S. Small Business Administration and the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. This show is the go-to resource for business owners seeking empowerment, education, and resources to succeed. Join us as we connect you with experts, share the triumphs of fellow entrepreneurs, and reveal the wealth of assistance available to you today to level up your business. So let's go. Let's dive in and learn more. All right, I hope you got your thinking caps on today here, because we're gonna challenge you. We're gonna get you thinking here about something you may or may not have given a great deal of thought of, or may not know much about. And I'm raising my own hand because I don't think I knew enough about this. So we're going to be much wiser, much smarter, and much more eager to jump into the world of contracting after this conversation with Karla Gonzalez, the director of the Small Business Development Center for Contracting. Did I get all that right? Karla Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And make sure it's Karla with a K here. She told me that 5 times here. You said in Mexico the K means something special here. Otherwise, it'd be pronounced, if it was Carla, like I always see, that's pronounced differently in Mexico.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So Karla with a K, Gonzalez, tell us your story here. You've been in this world, a world most of us know very little about. Contracting. We're talking about state and federal, or maybe high-level contracting, government contracting. How in the world did you become an expert at this? You started off where?
Thanks for having me. So I used to work at the Minority Business Development Agency. They had a center here locally in Riverside. Now I'm going to date myself, about 17, 20 years ago.
Oh, it couldn't be that long.
Well, fresh out of college. So I jumped in. They were looking for a junior consultant. I'm like, why not? Let's try it out.
Right.
And in that role there, I was exposed to contracting. And back then, I would say there wasn't much awareness about certifications, capability statements, any of that good stuff. There wasn't a need for it. But we had a couple of clients here and there. So I just decided, you know what? I need to know what the process is, what it looks like, immerse myself in it. Like I said, I was fresh out of college. So I was eager to learn. So in my tenure there, I dove into it. I went to every conference that I could. I read every book that I could. I went and I met with different types of consultants in the area. Mm-hmm. And because of all those interactions, I was able, when I hopped over to the SBDC, offer that services. Under the SBDC, when I hopped over here, I was the only one out of the whole group doing contracting.
You helped set this center up, this very specialized center. It's yet another example of the breadth and depth of the Small Business Development Centers, the SBDC here in Southern California, in this region, and nationwide. There are lots of these specialty centers. We had Craig on from the Finance Center. This is another center I don't think everybody is fully aware that we've got. And me included, I'm not really sure I understand who qualifies for it. So let's talk a little bit about this strange world of contracting. Is it just construction? Is that what mostly it falls into? Or am I thinking too limited, too narrow here?
Too limited. And I think that's the biggest misconception. Everybody equates contracting to construction.
Right.
There's not. The biggest question, and I always go back to the who cares. What do you have? Who do you want to do business with? And what do they care about? What is their process? So we can help clients. I mean, I would say a good chunk of our clients are construction, but we help clients in professional services, in IT, janitorial, marketing.
Marketing. Oh, my goodness. So you're telling me that the state of California or the city of Riverside or the county or the feds, they're looking for contractors in areas all over the place? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
So contractor. Now, how would I even know they have these contracts out there? I got to learn how to bid these contracts, and I probably have to have some kind of certification, something. Let's walk through this process. You're giving me a little education offline here. If I walked in your door and said, I'm interested, where would you start me? What's the first question you'd ask me here?
So the first question I would ask is, what is your product and service? And because we'll get is, you tell me what I need to sell.
Right.
And you need to come in understanding and knowing what are you able to offer to said agency, whether it's a product or a service. Mm-hmm. Once you figure that part out, then let's look at some research. There's research out there available. We have a great market research team here at the SBDC that we can tap into, and they can kind of give us an idea of what was spent in your particular expertise of product or service.
Okay. So
Additionally, there are other
because those
systems.
budgets are public knowledge, and you can delve and say, did they hire an accountant? Did they hire a marketing specialist? Did they hire somebody who produces podcasts? That's what I do here. Have they ever hired people like that? If so, how much money have they spent?
Correct.
And again, all right, so you'd find out if there's a need for my service and is it mostly government? Is that what we're talking about here? Government entities?
No, it can be any kind of agency, whether it's city, counties, utility companies,
Utility company. There you go.
Fortune 1000 companies. The only thing is, I will say, in terms of research, you're going to have access to the research of historical for government funded agencies, obviously, because that's public information.
Yeah, right.
My Fortune 1000, probably you're not going to find it. My utilities, you can to an extent. But once we go through that discovery process with you and we've narrowed down the who cares, in other words, we found out city XYZ is the one that really buys what you have,
right?
Then we look at their processes.
And that process probably means some kind of certification. That's the word. I'm not really sure what a certification is. How do I get a certification? I'm a marketing expert. How do I get certification? I'm a janitorial service. That's one that I would never think of here. Or I'm a podcaster. I produce podcasts. I don't have a certification for any. There's no certification for janitorial services. What is that? How do I get it?
So that's a great question. So it's not a certification based on your expertise.
Okay.
It's a certification based on your ownership and how that business is structured.
Okay.
So before you even jump into certifications, we would start with registering you for the bid opportunities because most of these sites aren't free. So it's finding out where you need to register to get these notifications. Based on that, we can go through that discovery and say, oh, this particular entity has a preference or a goal to do business with either a small business certified, a woman certified business, minority, X, Y, and Z. So based on that, then we can determine, okay, you need to get certified. Let's just say, for example, woman certified.
Right.
And that's great. But then we have to do a deeper dive because there's 3 different types of woman certifications.
Oh, okay.
So we need to make sure you get the correct one. Once we can figure that out, then we walk you through that entire process.
What other kinds of certifications are there? I would think that'd be a once and done. Yes, I'm a woman-owned business or something, but you're saying no, there's other levels to it.
There's no universal. I wish there was. That'd make our lives easier, but there's not. Everybody has different preferences. I'll give you a quick example if it's okay.
Yeah.
State of California is race and gender neutral. So their preference is certified small businesses and certified disabled veteran business enterprise.
And they set targets, if I'm not mistaken. They, as an organization, say, we actively want to encourage more minority-owned business, more veteran-owned business, more disabled businesses, more women-owned business, whatever it is. They've got a number of categories that they would like to develop. They don't want just the same good old boys network contractors who've been, I'm thinking the construction again. I picture that as mostly a bunch of rough, tough guys or something. So they'd like to diversify. They'd like to spread the wealth. They'd like to see it go to others than, not that anything wrong with the other people I've dealt with, but they've got money to spend. Why spend it with just a handful of people who probably understand the process, have the ins, have the network? They'd like to broaden the depth of their expertise. They'd like to bring more people into the thing. Why not? It's a noble goal. And they get probably a better, more diverse product and maybe, I don't know. What do they get by diversifying here? Is it just simply a political goal, or do they somehow help the community and spread the wealth in ways that I can't think of here?
Well, no, they help develop, small businesses. They help scale them up as well, too. So you're contributing to the economy. It's getting beyond what you're used to using as contractors and really spreading out that portfolio and giving others an opportunity that may have some breakthrough way of doing things that you might never even have known of.
Exactly.
So it's really scaling businesses up and helping the community in which they're operating out of.
So they have this desire, but I don't know they're out there. They're saying there's only certain sites that where they advertise these opportunities, and you have to register. Maybe you have to even pay some money to get on these sites here, to get access to these bids, to be able to bid. Is that what I'm hearing?
So there are third-party sites you can pay, but the great news is, if you look just at the lower level, so to speak, in terms of the totem pole, my cities and my counties, you can register directly with each of them at no cost.
Okay.
It takes you maybe 3-4 minutes to register with each of them, and they will begin to email you bid opportunities in your area of expertise. State of California has a robust website, which once again, it's all a one-stop shop. You would go onto that site, you're able to see past opportunities, past purchases to see who won them, and you're able to see current opportunities as well in all different departments. So your Cal States, your UCs, your DMV, CHP, all of that on that state
Wow,
site.
you rattled off a whole group. Who would think of the CHP, the California Highway Patrol, is looking to get a small business to fulfill some role in their organization here? They're looking for they're looking to contract out some kind of service. Are there any wild examples? Janitorial, that's one I would never think of. Any other crazy examples you can think of you've seen where they were looking for something unusual and the people in that field probably didn't even know they were looking for it? Anything wild or different that comes to your mind here?
I would say one that threw me off, and it's a couple years back, and I tell this story when I teach the class, is I had one of our water companies call me, and they were looking for a certified small business DJ. And
see, exactly.
yeah, and I'm like, a DJ, like, well, why? And they were having, this is a couple years back, they were having an expo, and they needed to have music during that expo. So they wanted to do contract directly with the certified small business DJ.
Son of a gun. And some poor DJs out there trying to say, how do I get more business? And they're trying to advertise for parties and birthdays and other sorts of corporate things, never knowing that the water district over here is looking for somebody just like them and probably has, and they probably pay well. I'm going to guess these are well-paid contracts. These are probably not the cheapest, they're not beating you down on the price or something. Oh, can you do it for half price or something here? They've got a budget and they're going to spend it. It's probably a pretty decent gig to get in with this.
Yeah, the other one that I had was another utility company. They needed to give awards for one of their galas a couple years back as well. And this one particular client had awards that had like a water feature to it. And somebody at this utility company liked it, and she was able to secure that contract.
Wow. And then for years, it probably goes on for years and years. Every year they give that award out. As my daughter would say, what a sweet deal. What a sweet gig here. What a sweet opportunity. All right. So there are opportunities beyond what you think. More of them than we probably know of. And do many of these go unsatisfied? Nobody answers, or very few people answer? Are you up against millions of people when you're bidding on these things? Or because it's such an unknown area, you might be the only DJ applying for that water gig, that water job here, that water consulting thing?
I say it depends on who the agency is. So for the state of California, I mean, you're going to go against probably other state companies that are here in the area. But with that said, I will tell you, and I had a client a couple years back, they did a DMV contract for janitorial, and they were just one of 5 that bid it.
Wow. So it's not hopeless. I mean, because you think, I haven't got a shot at this. There's too many other big companies. They're too well established. There's millions of people trying out for it or whatever. It might not be that at all. 1 of 5. That's a pretty good odds here. I'll take that any day of the week. All right.
So that's something really quick to that too is if you don't win it, that's okay. Ask for a debriefing so you kind of find out where you landed.
Oh, okay.
So you can use that for the next one.
That makes sense. They'll actually tell you why they pick somebody over you. Okay, that doesn't often happen in the real world here. All right, so you're going to come in and say, tell us what you do, and we're going to start researching and see if anybody's looking for that. You're going to go through some sort of certification process. Is that expensive? Is it hard to do, or is that something you help us with?
So get ready for it. Out of all the ones that we have out there that are available, 95% of them are at no cost. It's just your time to complete the applications and submit it.
Okay, all right. And you're going to walk us through that. It's probably a complicated thing and confusing or whatnot, and you don't know where to get the forms and maybe how to answer some of the things. Once you found, hey, I think there's some need for this, let's get you certified so they know what they're dealing with. Are you just a what kind of certification are we talking about? Small business would be one, minority-owned would be another, veteran-owned, woman-owned, anything else I'm not thinking of, any other kinds of categories that they're looking for?
Yeah, so it falls into 4 categories. We have federal certifications, state certifications, utility certifications, and then we have our 14-1000 certifications.
Okay.
So out of those, the acronyms, would be minority, woman, disabled veteran, veteran-owned small business, LGBTQ, person with disabilities, historically underutilized businesses known as hub zone, and I'm probably missing 1 or 2, small disadvantage, and then small business as well too.
Okay. All right. So there's more categories than you might qualify under a number of different categories.
Correct.
All right. So, and the most amazing thing is they've got some money set aside. I was going to save this to the end, but let's talk about it right now. The state of California had an assembly bill 2019 for the state. What did that What did that mandate? What did that set aside here? That was pretty startling what you told me here.
Correct. So under the state of California, they have a goal. Well, actually, not even a goal. It's mandated now.
Yeah.
That 25% of their contracting dollars have to get contracted to a certified small business. So it just can't be any small. You have to be certified, and the certification is literally free and takes you 24 hours to get approved.
So they've got this money set aside. Sorry, Mr. Big Company, we'd love to use you again like we did, but we've got to go find one of these darn small businesses because the state has mandated that we spread this money out. And here's some small business saying, I can't find any work, I can't find enough clients, and the state of California is hungry to give you some cash, hungry to help you here. You're not competing against the giant companies. They want to focus on companies just like yours. That's an amazing thing. They're looking for you, and we don't
Correct.
even know it. We don't even know it.
They're looking for you. And even some of these bigger companies that are contracting directly with the state, they may have stipulations in their contract that says, okay, you get the contract, but you need a subcontract out.
There you go.
Out to a certified small business.
So go find me one of those things so we can close this giant multi-million-dollar deal. I got to have one of those little small business owners along for the ride to supply some part of it here. Okay, amazing story. You're going to help us figure it out if we qualify. You're going to help us get certified, qualified. You're going to teach me where to go, where to go fish for these things. Do I have to go to online? Is it at expos? Do I have to network and get to know all the big wigs at the water department? I mean, how do I find these gigs?
So the opportunity, we would help you register. But in addition to that, we do encourage you to go to different network events. They have meetings, they have meetups. There's different organizations that host these. I believe we just hosted ours a couple of weeks back as well. So the SBDC does host these as well. Mm-hmm. And those are opportunities for you to make contact with the different agencies that are there.
Yeah.
But we don't want you to go in unprepared. We want to make sure you have a capability statement in place, which is that one-page management, kind of like a flyer, but it's one-page management resume that talks about the business, what you can do for that particular entity or entities, how you're certified, your ownership, and your contact information. So that's what you're going to go armed with when you go to these different expos. And
because my next fear, I'm trying to talk myself out of this. My first thought is, nah, they're not looking for somebody like me. The second one is, nah, it's too hard to get certified. I could never do that. The third one is, even if I do, I'm up against 1 million people. I got no chance. The big guys are always going to get this. No, they've got money set aside specifically for you. And the fourth one would be, can I really do it? Can I really pull off one of these gigs? Now, yeah, if I'm a DJ and they've got an event, I can do their event like I can do anybody's event. Am I scaring myself that if I'm dealing with the city, the state, the feds, this must be a giant thing that needs 400 employees and it's just me and 2 people or something? I'm not big enough to handle something like that.
No, I'll give you a quick example. So most of your cities have State of the Cities. And it's a big event that they have annually to kind of give you where the city's going and where it's in the past year. They will hire out an audiovisual contractor to take care of that. That's not done in-house. And that person is maybe a show of 1 or 2, maybe 3 employees, if that. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be this big, huge company. There are smaller contracts that are available out there for you to get your foot in. Mm-hmm. Another thing that I can know with the state of California, if you are just registered in their system and certified, they can just pick up the phone and call you as well, too. It may not even get posted because it may not be that big of a contract. Mm-hmm. I had a client a couple of months back, actually. We fixed her profile because she had some stuff missing. We updated it for her. And I kid you not, 2 weeks later, she got an email from the state of California from a department looking for promotional table covers because they found her in the system.
Wow.
That could have been no more than $1,000 contract, but that's your foot in the door.
Karla, why have we all been missing this? Most of us small business owners, me included, are all scratching our head. We've got some area we serve. That's how we started off in our business. I do this for these people or in this city or whatever. And that I joined the chamber. I run ads. I try and tell the world locally here's what I do. Here, I'm available. And then we're always scratching our head saying, how do we build our business? How do we grow our business? How do we find that other stuff? And somebody comes along and says, well, there are federal, state, local, utility, agency contracts and stuff. You say, I'm not big enough. I could never get those. I don't know how to qualify. I don't this. I don't. You talk yourself out of it. I don't think most people even go look at this stuff. So what's it cost for them to come and start this process? You must charge $1 million to do all this.
I charge a bag of cookies. No, we are at no cost. But I will say, be leery because we're at no cost and we're always here ready to assist. But there are agencies out there, private contractors, provide to contracting that will charge you anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000.
That's what I've heard of. And they take your money and promise you the world, and then you go, oh, gee, nothing came out of it or whatever here. So this
Correct.
is a totally free service funded by the SBDC, partially by the SBA and all the other organizations that fund you guys here. And you've got an expert like Karla who's been doing this for years, knows the ropes, knows the inside tricks, knows how the system's set up, how to get you going. And you're there, what, just to help more small businesses qualify for these contracts? What an amazing thing. That's hard to believe.
Yes, we're very fortunate that we have a robust team of 6 consultants, each in different areas of expertise in contracting that can assist you throughout your entire journey. So I often say that we essentially become your Avengers.
I like that. Because I need a team of superheroes too. Sometimes I think I'm just a mere mortal. I can't fight all the forces of the world. I wish I had a superhero on my team here.
That's who we are. We stand right behind you and walk through that journey with you. And it may not be a short one. It might be a long journey, but we don't give up if you don't give up.
And once you get into that world, I would think it becomes easier. Now the city knows you. They'll call you, do a good job. They'll call you back, the water department or something here. You probably get some steady work out of it. Maybe even think of you for some other things. Hey, this agency tried you in the city. Maybe this other agency will try you. You get in on this little world. Because it really does sound like a world we don't know anything about. We, the general world of small business owners. We really don't have much experience in this world. We don't play in this world. We don't understand it. We don't know how to get in, how to find it, how to sell ourselves, what's available, what's out there. We need a guide. You're the guide. You're the Sherpa. You're the ones to help us climb the mountain here, huh?
Yes, we try. We try to make it easy because it can be overwhelming. It can be discouraging. So we just, we want you to understand that we understand what you're going through. The majority of the team has their own business, so they've gone through these processes. So we're there with you. If you're willing to stick it out, we're willing to stick it out with you.
Give me some other success stories. Any other ones that come to the top of your head? You gave me some amazing ones already.
Yes. I have a good one, actually.
Yeah, give me a couple. Give me one or two, just to give us inspiration. Hey, this could be me.
So I had a janitorial company a couple years back as well. He got laid off. The gentleman was laid off, and he needed to figure out a way to generate income for his household. So he said, the only thing I know how to do is clean.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So we helped him start his business, formation, all that good stuff. Once he was formed, he's like, okay, I got a little contract to clean some houses, but I want to get into government contracting. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do. We went in, looked at the state of California, got him certified. The gentleman is now on his 10th DMV contract.
Oh, this is the guy that was just laid off, and you said, I want to start a company. This isn't a guy who'd been doing it for 20 years or something, had 20 employees.
He landed his first contract, I want to say 3 months after he started.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Any others? Give me something else really wild. You gave me one. I want to hear one more.
I'm trying to think.
Somebody that did something really unusual or just landed a big one here, and they bigger than they thought, or that their dreams came true.
I would say not so much such a big contract. We have some companies that do. Gosh, they're nailing $2 million contracts, $4 million contracts.
Yeah, right.
But these are construction at the federal level.
Right.
If we're looking more at the lower, the smaller amounts, I would say the best example that I can give, and this is more recently, what kind of threw me off, was she had a book on managing diabetes.
A book? No, wait a minute. Now, a book on managing diabetes. If you gave me a long list of things and said one of these has no chance of getting a contract at a state, local, federal level, that would be the one. I'd say, well, forget it, lady. Go home, sell your book some other way. You're not going to get anything out of this contract, but you're going to tell me how she did.
Yes.
Okay.
So she ended up creating a curriculum to go with it for a healthy lifestyle. So with that, she approached a couple of the Fortune 1000 companies, went to their HR. If you wanted to enhance your employees, give them better work-life balance, educate them as well on the dangers of diabetes, package it all together, and they hired her to do on-site training to their employees as professional development.
Karla, I don't even want to put this out because I want to keep this all to myself here. I want to keep this knowledge secret here. I'm going to give this to my friends and family here. If we put this out in the world, you're going to get 100 million phone calls. Sounds like just about every kind of small business might find some opportunity here. If those crazy examples can work, think of what you do, folks, and think of maybe me. Maybe I could get a real good, steady contract that for years and years and years open up a whole new opportunity for me here. Who knows what it'll lead to? How do they reach you? How do they get in touch with you? How does everybody come calling for this free service here?
Well, we have our 800 number here at the SBDC. So as you call the SBDC number,
okay,
which is 800-616-7232. You can just call them directly and they will get you over to Center for Contracting.
Okay.
Or you can reach me directly as well too. I promise I answer my emails.
Oh, come on.
So I do respond typically within an hour or two and get you going in the right direction. So you're also more than welcome to email me directly. But I would think the most effective way is calling the office directly.
If they want to email you, if they want to just cut right to it, what's your email address?
It is Karla with a K, so Karla
right.
at OCIE SBDC.org.
OC for Orange County, IE for Inland Empire, SBDC for the Small Business Development Centers.org, because it's an organization. That's a mouthful. Or you can give us the phone number one more time here again.
Yeah, no worries. It's 1-800-616-7232.
Karla, you have given me a whole new outlook, a whole new thought on contracting. I thought it was just construction. I thought it was just big guys. I thought it was hard and difficult, and nobody small would ever hold any hope of getting anything. You've given me a lot of hope. Is there anybody who shouldn't come? If you've got a small business, why wouldn't they want to come in and at least check it out and see if there's something for it? You gave me some wild examples. I'm sure there's lots of other ones if we really dive into this here. And what it starts with, just a free consultation. You come in, and then if you take it on, you just work with them for the duration of the time, whatever it takes to get into these directories and get started and whatnot here, and how to find them, how to qualify, how to get applied, and then get some feedback. Okay, you didn't get the first one. Let's find out why. Maybe we can make some changes. Maybe we can tweak the formula a little bit here. I mean, you stick with them for a while here. You're there to see them succeed.
Correct. Their success is our success. So we get excited when you get to win that first contract. We get just as excited as they do.
And how much, if you just give me some tease here, how much give me a round dollar figure in terms of contracts that have been awarded to your clients here. How much money have you gotten awarded for your SBDC clients here over the last year, 6 months or whatever?
So year to date, we're at $36.5 million in contracts secured and over 100 certifications.
Wow, $36 million you found for businesses that didn't even know they were sitting out there. I'd like to get some of that pie. I may come and talk to you about what I'm doing here. I'm telling you, this is an opportunity, I think, for everybody. Karla with a K, Karla Gonzalez from the SBDC Center for Contracting. Who knew such opportunities exist? I think everybody's going to call you on this. Thanks for joining us today here.
Thank you.
As we conclude another episode of the Profit Talks podcast, we hope we've empowered your entrepreneurial spirit. Reach out to us to connect with our experts, and let's take your business to the next level. Keep those dreams alive, keep pushing forward, and stay tuned for more. And if you liked what you heard in today's podcast and you want your business to reach new heights, just contact us at profittalkspodcast.org or call us at 1-800-616-7232. That's 1-800-616-7232. So until next time, keep thriving.